they finally released the Carnage character guide for Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. The 4v4 tag team fighter is basically here, and just in time for launch, Arc System Works has finally given us the lowdown on the symbiotic maniac that is Carnage. They saved the best for last, and rightfully so, as Carnage has some crazy tools befitting of the madman himself, and in this guide, we learn all about what Carnage can do in this fast-paced fighting game. Saludos mi gente, greetings everyone, my name is Dream King, and today, we are talking about my day one main, Carnage, in Marvel Tokon. But before we get started, please like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell if you enjoy my content. Your support helps out a ton and it is always very much appreciated. Now, let's get into the video. Starting with his normal attacks, Carnage has some pretty standard ones. The main normals that stand out to me include his Crouching Light, which looks like it has quite a bit of reach, especially for a light attack, Crouching Medium, which moves Carnage forward, and his Standing Heavy, Air Forward Heavy, and Air Down Heavy, which all become multi-hitting attacks when you hold down the heavy button. These normals all see Carnage transform his arm into a drill and hit up to 6 times. But these held versions of his heavy normals have more startup to compensate for the additional hits, naturally. I think these are going to be useful when it comes to locking the opponent down for pressure, and I believe the guide notes that even though these air normals hit multiple times, only the first hit counts as an overhead, so you shouldn't have to block high for all 6 hits, just for the first one. My biggest takeaway from this character guide though has to be how easy the developers feel it is to play as Carnage in Marvel Tokon. Every character has an ease of use rating in their character guide, with 5 stars being the maximum amount and indicating the easiest level of play. The less stars a character has listed, the harder they are to play, and the more technical a fighter they are. Carnage has 5 stars, meaning the developers feel he is one of the easiest characters to use in the game. For comparison's sake, Hulk, a character that is traditionally more straightforward and easier to play, also has 5 stars, whereas more technical fighters like Loki and Deadpool have 3 stars. Granted, the developers have a lot more experience with Carnage than I do, but I'm kinda surprised at his ease of use rating considering the amount of variables he has in his move list. He has a ton of follow-ups in his Parasite Bomb, gets added attack buffs on certain moves when they hit from max range, and his Necrosis mechanic not only gives him special benefits, but it has to be managed constantly. This kind of a trait is usually reserved for more technical characters, something like Aki's Poison in Street Fighter 6 comes to mind. So I find it really interesting that Arc System Works has him listed as easy to use. And that's not a bad thing, it's just interesting. Let's talk about Carnage's unique mechanic, his Necrosis, which inflicts a status effect on the opponent when he uses certain attacks that infect them with it. Neutral Unique Attack, Crouching Unique Attack, and Air Unique Attack all see Carnage send out a long tendril that injects the opponent with Necrosis when they make contact. When the opponent is inflicted with Necrosis, a meter pops up on Carnage's side, and once that meter depletes fully, Necrosis ends. Carnage can keep filling the meter back up, however, by landing hits. What's super interesting is that the guide specifies that the Necrosis effect lasts longer if the move used to inflict it hits, which means they also inject the opponent with Necrosis when they're blocked. We see a quick clip of that in the guide too, which confirms it. So as long as you make contact with the opponent's point fighter using any of Carnage's unique attacks, the Necrosis mechanic will become active on hit or block. Carnage also has a follow-up to his Standing Unique Attack that sees him leap in after the tendril and close the distance on the opponent really fast. So this means Carnage should be able to get his Necrosis in play a lot, especially with the help of assists that can lock the opponent down and make them an easy target. And he will also be able to close the distance quickly after inflicting Necrosis, then start chipping away at their health with heavies and begin his pressure/mix-ups. One of the effects of Necrosis is that heavies deal damage on block, and they also do more damage on hit. So connecting heavy attacks while Necrosis is active, even when the opponent is blocking, is going to be inflicting damage to the opponent. Special moves also gain a follow-up that is automatically triggered during necrosis, and these follow-ups generally deal extra damage. Another big benefit of the necrosis mechanic is that it grants Carnage access to his Parasite Bomb follow-up attack. Carnage can choose to follow up most of his special moves with an explosion, and he can activate it by hitting unique attack after a special move connects during necrosis. This works on hit or on block. The effect of the explosion changes depending on what special move is used, what strength of the special move it is, and for an attack like his Vicious Skewer, a long-range stab attack, the effect also changes based on if you hit the move from max range or not. The follow-up explosion can either pop the opponent up and in front of Carnage, allowing for a follow-up combo, can send the opponent flying toward the corner for some corner carry, or blow the opponent back toward Carnage for what looks like a better pressure/Oki situation, and potentially even a combo extension, though we don't see it in the video, so that isn't confirmed yet. When Carnage uses Parasite Bomb on a blocking opponent, it makes his special moves safe where they normally wouldn't be, and whenever he uses Parasite Bomb, the necrosis state immediately ends right after, regardless of how much of the meter is left. So not only will you have to keep track of whether or not your opponent is currently inflicted with necrosis, and how much longer you have on the timer, but you'll have to pick and choose when to use the Parasite Bomb follow-up, while also knowing what version of the follow-up you're getting and where on screen it's hitting, to determine what the best outcome for you is in any given situation. Counting all of the Parasite Bomb follow-ups for every special move that has one, and the different strengths of each, Carnage has over 20 to keep track of. Outside of necrosis, Carnage has some really cool and interesting special moves. His Vicious Skewer, as mentioned earlier, gives you extra damage if you hit it from max distance away. This happens regardless of whether or not necrosis is active. His Guillotine Axe also looks mad scary too. This move hits as an overhead, has armor on it, can be charged, and the heavy version deals an extra attack when hit as a counter hit or when it's charged. With necrosis active, you can also follow up with Parasite Bomb for more damage and a ground bounce. As far as assists go, Carnage's support attacks are pretty standard. His Shooter Assist is his Vicious Skewer attack, Vertical Assist is his DP, and Assault or Back Assist is similar to his Skewer Assist, but it hits a second time and pulls the opponent toward Carnage, so you can use this to bring the opponent to you in neutral, or for long-range combos when you want to bring the opponent back and extend the combo further. All of these assists get their automatic follow-up when necrosis is active, which is just an additional tendril strike that deals a bit more damage. Carnage's Aerial Assist is his Air Flip Kick, which ground bounces the opponent when it hits. Carnage looks incredible in Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, and by the time you're watching this, we should all be playing the game ourselves and figuring out what all it has to offer. Will you be adding Carnage to your team, and what do you think of the character overall? Let me know how you feel in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like it, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the Marvel Tokon lobby.